So what it seems like is going on in Shadowkeep is Bungie is more or less nerfing our abilities instead of buffing the enemies as much. Instead of messing with the enemy and AI difficulty that much, you're going to get less recharge rates, stacked damage multipliers, and things like that, which all makes sense, and I'm totally down for that. And I think that Lunafaction, even though it is getting nerfed and only going to give you enhanced reload, I think that it still has a key part in any kind of raid team or Nightfall team or any kind of new activities we're going to be doing where we're under light. And I wanted to focus mainly on that before I went into the compilation of all the Warlock builds and Hunter builds. I want to talk about this one specifically, so let's jump right into it with the subclass first. So from what I've heard, the well is getting nerfed around like 10% for the damage and stuff that it does. So it's not going to do as much damage, but that's, you know, kind of whatever. But Divine Protection, heal yourself or your allies with those charged grenades. Benevolent Dawn, healing or empowering allies, whether you got an empowering rift or a healing rift. Recharges grenade, melee, and rift energy, and that also stacks with mods such as grenade mods, melee mods, and paragon mods. And then Guiding Flame, which is kind of what we're building out for today, to make sure you melt bosses. Since the well's getting nerfed, you need to make sure you're getting this empowered melee back so you can keep offsetting that damage nerf and get that melee damage going over and over again to help you and your team out. Now let's take a look at the build and we'll talk more about it and how to build it out. So for the helmet, the arms, and the chest piece, 3 melee mods, you have the option between a 717 build or a 618 build, or it'll be a 517 or a 518 build if you don't have the traction versions of the Lunafaction. The natural charge time of your rift is 1 minute and 22 seconds. So by having both of those on, it's 51 seconds. But if you do 3 Paragon mods, which is what I started out doing, trying to figure out if I need to build for that melee or if I need to build out for the rift, by having 3 on, it gives you a 10-second rift. By having 2 on, it gives you an 11 seconds. So you save 1 second whenever you're inside the Benevolent Dawn rifts. So if you have 3 melee mods on, it's a 10-second melee. If you have 2 Paragons on, it's an 11 second. If you have 3 Paragons, it's a 10 second. It all stacks the same, whether it's 3 melee, 3 grenade, or whatever. It's all 10 seconds for 3. Or if you want to do 2, it'll be 11 seconds. Like I said, it's just 1 second saved per mod you put on with the Benevolent Dawn. And that was when I realized I need to start stacking up with enhanced momentum transfer so I can save an extra second. Here's my thought process behind this. If you do 4 melee mods in a Benevolent Dawn rift, it gives you a 9.5 second melee. If you do 3, it does a 10 second. So I was like, I need to introduce enhanced momentum transfer so I can get a full second so I don't have to do 4 melee mods, because if I do 4 of those, that only saves me room for 1 Paragon mod, and that would be a 12-second rift, and I don't want those coming back that slow. I'd rather have that come back at 11 seconds, especially during a tough boss fight. That 1 second can really add up and matter. So that's what I did. Momentum transfer enhanced version without the Benevolent Dawn. It's 8 seconds back on your melee, so it can help you when you're not inside of a boss situation or whatever to try to prep for it. But when you're in that Benevolent Dawn, it just helps you out by getting that extra second and lets you save that mod slot to still get 11-second rifts coming back over and over before the rift actually ends. So hope that makes sense. Now, here's something else cool you can do, and that's when you add in Demolitionist on top of all this. So naturally, like I said, you get 10-second melees, you get 11-second rifts. So you pop down your well, you do the melee, you get that 1 second, so now we're at a 9-second melee coming back. Then we do the Demolitionist. It only takes 2 shots because we're getting Benevolent Dawn charge, because Psylocke, shout out to him, is inside of the well, giving me that extra Benevolent Dawn charge. And you'll see that I can keep shooting other adds while the teammate is focusing on the boss. And then we can start melting this dude a little bit quicker because I can get these grenades back that'll proc the momentum transfer and get the melees back to get more melting point type damage, which is just called empowering for the Warlock. But same thing, and this stuff does stack up. Now, I'm not saying this is a practical situation, but it is optional to do, because if you do Tractor Cannon, which I recommend with this, Epicurean is Demolitionist and it's Void, so you get that 50% damage unless that's being nerfed, which I don't really know yet. Either way, Tractor Cannon stacks up with Void weapons, so it's kind of a win-win situation there. So if you can proc it right, get these Demolitionists going, to get those seconds coming back, you can get like 7 to 8 second melees during a boss fight, which can come in super clutch mode. This build is a straight up support class role, but it's one of the most beast roles that can be on a team if it has to be a melt boss situation type thing going on. So just because the word support is thrown out doesn't mean that this is like give it to your weakest teammate type role or anything like that. You got to have some kind of control and, you know, flow and order to things that you're doing on this type situation. So kind of have to know what you're doing. But so far in the game, you know, being max light, you know, the current state of the game, this thing will melt and shred everything in the game, whether you're doing blind well or gambit or strike bosses or, you know, raid bosses. But, you know, when Shadowkeep launches, we're all going to be under light. You know, things aren't going to be as easy as they are right now. But, I mean, you can see right now it just kind of shreds all these bosses. I don't even have to get the melee back over and over again. It just crushes them. And make sure you practice that boss melee counter, otherwise that'll happen. You get knocked back, and then you got to rush all back in here and try to get your Benevolent Dawn's charges going, and all that stuff can just kind of go haywire. So make sure you practice the boss melee counter and prep for that to know when it could happen. Also, if you're trying to do the menagerie right now, you can one phase the boss on regular menagerie, maybe even the heroic version as well, but this is a key player to melting bosses in the game right now. As you can see right here, this is before I had the momentum transfer added into it. This is just like a test version I was doing, and we were still able to take them out in that one phase. So it's just even more beast by having the enhanced momentum transfer and getting those 7 to 8 second melees coming back to empower yourself and everybody else on the team to do more damage. And if you've never seen me and Utepers do gambit, we use this all the time. This is a cheat code to gambit right now. If you didn't know this, you just put this build on. All this roll does is it hangs out at the dump moat station the whole time, keeps it cleaned out, and then when it's boss time, it's a guaranteed 2 phase every time. You just have your teammate build out void, grenade launchers or whatever, and then it's always a 2 phase. So that is it, Guardian. That is the Diehard version 2. Ready for Shadowkeep and ready for those nerfs. So Bungie, you can bring them nerfs because this build is going to be ready to shred. Hope that helps you out, Guardians. Go ahead and start building out for this type stuff because Bungie already said they're prepared for us to still be on some year 2 building Armor 1.0 until we make that merge into the 2.0. So it's not going to be, you know, like right off the bat. You're going to be in 2.0 armor and ready to go with some god builds. You know what I mean? You're still going to have to rely on these older type builds that are still going to be clutch enough to do activities until you get your light higher and stuff. But today's video is sponsored by LifetimeControllers.com. One control lasts you an entire lifetime. They also offer a repair service to keep you in beast mode all the time. So check them out, LifetimeControllers.com. I can't wait for Shadowkeep Armor 2.0. I am just ready to slay on some freaking new ads already, man. And I appreciate all you bros hanging out, doing the live streams with me and kicking it and stuff. I feel like I'm growing this little family, man. But anyways, man, y'all take it easy. It's my pleasure to help you bros out as always. My name is Ristopheles. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. You can also hit me up at paypal.me/Ristopheles. Get a shout out in the next upcoming video. You can click join the Beast Squad, or get some merch at teespring.com/Ristopheles. Again, Guardians, I can't wait for Shadowkeep. I know that you are ready to start beast mode and also. Y'all take it easy, and I'll see you on the next video next time.
In space.